What's up, everybody? It's Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Nights with another episode on Elite Dangerous. When we left off in the last episode, I feel like... where did we end up? Yet again, I don't think we ended up making it all the way to our destination. I was trying to shoot for a 900 plus light year jump pattern type thing, and I never quite got there. We're actually closing decently in on Herschel 36, though, which is kind of cool. This is depressing to me, though. Like, it just... yeah. That's just one of those... I'd have to go back and see what episode I started doing exploration on and actually started this course kind of thing. But to see that, and then see all that... it's just very, like, at some point I think I'm going to have to start cutting these episodes and doing chunks, I think. But our current plot... where is it? Okay, so this is my first fuel point. Our current plot is this guy out here, which is about 600 light years. I wanted to try this because I had mentioned before, if I don't edit things, it tends to be about 3 refuel points in about a full episode of like 40 minutes or so. And usually that gets me around 600 light years or 650 or something. So I wanted to set my destination a little bit lower to see exactly, like, episodically how far we can get. But I also was told in the comments of a new fuel scooping method that I want to... I tested out a little bit off camera when I refueled, because when we ended the last episode I didn't have any fuel. But I still want to play around with it, because it's essentially the idea of how you could fly around the star at a higher speed to fuel faster, and so you don't have to take as long to sit, and things of that nature. Which it is kind of cool. It's just, it's not quite so fire and forget. Like, currently, the way I have it, I think would be more of like a... I don't know, maybe akin to like a streamer or something, where if you needed to take a break, you could like set your set your distance from the star. You're getting a certain amount of fuel. It's not the max, but you're getting a certain amount of fuel, and then it's like, okay, I'm just gonna park it here for a minute and come back when it's done. And in doing that, you know, it's a little more lazy, basically, but it does take a little bit longer. I never really clocked it to see how long my fuel scoops take, but on an empty tank, they take a decent amount. I don't know exactly how much. And it should be noted, I totally forgot that in the comment it mentioned a speed thing, and I completely ignored it and did it at full speed, so I did have to watch my heat index a little bit more than I probably needed to, but it's still kind of interesting because it allowed you to keep moving and do stuff and things like that, and you didn't take as long to refuel. So I'm curious if, in doing it the way that I'm going to try to this episode, if that would allow for kind of a... well, and actually, you know what? We're going to switch gears a little bit, now that I think about it, because part of the benefit to that method was that you could essentially test every star and see if they could refuel, and if you could, you're like refueling at every stop almost. So we're going to try that out on the next jump here. So basically the idea is you use the orbit lines to essentially stay in an, I guess you could call it a manually controlled orbit around the star, because you're not actually just going to float, you're going to fly past it if you don't mess with your flight controls. So you do need to like manually control and fly around the star. That's one thing I wasn't sure about, was I was like, is there a new orbit function I didn't know about? Which would be awesome, by the way, by the by. That would be a really cool feature for them to implement, actually, some kind of orbit for, like, explorers that are trying to scan, or not future.
Fuel scooping.
What am I thinking? So like this, I found I have the best heat index if I keep that orbital line somewhere above my HUD here. It lowers the amount of fuel I'm getting, obviously, but, you know, we're still getting a lot more, though. And then when you're done, you kind of just break off, and then you can check and see, but I've already scanned and all that stuff. Now the only thing is I'm still going to have to stop for the star here, but I'm refueled. So, you know, it's kind of a mixed bag in a way. Wow, I got really far away from that. I did not think I flew that far away. So, I'm gonna try it this way. And essentially, we're gonna find out, if, because I don't think there's a very high chance of not finding a single star on a particular path that you couldn't scoop from. You might have to wait 2 or 3 jumps or something, but I really can't see there just being like no stars, like no scoopable on your plotted route. That doesn't. I mean, I guess it's possible, but it just doesn't seem like a thing to me. But if you're keeping past your orbital line, you don't run the risk of running into them or getting an emergency drop if they're not a scoopable star. So, there's that.
Fuel scooping.
So, yeah, it's kind of an interesting idea that basically you just can keep refueling at each stop, and then there's no particular stop and refuel point, you know what I mean?
Fuel scoop disengaged.
So we'll see how this goes for a minute. I'm probably going to gauge this on an overall.
Fuel scooping.
Why am I fuel scooping? I was full.
Fuel scooping complete.
Oh, I'm not even scanning, dagnabbit. What I mean by the whole overall idea is essentially what I'm going to try is see how far we get in an episode of not editing and not cutting things and blah, 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 and seeing how it compares to when I do like 2 or 3 just stops when I'm out of fuel kind of thing. Now, technically, I don't actually have to do it on every star. Again, I'm just kind of more concerned that you run into a couple of stars in a row and you hadn't been fuel scooping, so, you know, it's kind of like, I might as well, is the idea. Also, because I'm basically doing it while my scanner is pulsing, so I don't really have to, like, just sit there. It's not exactly a waste of time to try and scoop while you're scanning, so, you know. But like I said, we're gonna try it and see if we get any further, or not, by not doing specific, like, fuel stops type of thing, is the idea. It's the idea here. Okay, nope, I want this. Okay. And wait for it. Wow, I'm right here. Why is it taking so long to scan it? Okay. Now, if I wasn't scanning the stars themselves, and you were just popping the scanner and then jumping or something, you could probably speed up your time a lot. I'm taking the time to scan all the stars from the, well, at least the main one that you drop in on. I don't know that you'd really have to do that. But I did find out, I don't know if it's actually a community goal yet or not, but in the Galnet news, there was something about the, how do you say that? Like, that new station that we were headed towards. It's like the, the Jacques or whatever, I don't know. I'm not sure how they're pronouncing it, because usually Jacques has a C in it, so I'm not really sure how they're saying that's supposed to be said. But anyways, I guess they're requesting exploration data, so I don't know if that's a community goal, or if that's just a Galnet, like, lore thing. You know, I don't know. But if that's accurate, though, and when we detour and go over there, which I'm intending to do, well, that would be kind of interesting, because we'll have quite a bit of exploration data to give them. Okay. Now, I will note, so far...
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Let's get charging, and then I'll see if I can pull this up and check. I don't know if I can do it in time. Okay, so that was our next one is supposed to be our first fuel scoop point.
4,
And we're
3,
still rocking a full tank.
1.
So that's kind of interesting. And according to, if I read my galaxy map right, we have 16 jumps left. I don't know how many I started with, though. So this may, in fact, actually be improving our flight time. Like I said, though, the original comments and stuff were actually talking about slowing down. I think, maybe not. Because it was something like... Yeah, it was something like 0.20 or 0.3, so I might not be going all that much faster than I'm supposed to be. I do kind of wish there was like a hotkey for the surface scanner, so you didn't actually have to focus on a planet or star or whatever it is you're trying to scan. I do kind of wish that they did that, where you could have like a... How do I put it? Come on, clear it. Thank you.
Drive charging.
Basically to where you could have, like, I'm flying this way, pointed at my route, but I could turn back and select that one that's within range and scan it, kind of thing. I'm not as big of a fan of actually having to turn your ship all the way around and scan it. That can get a little annoying. But still, though, I'm thinking this might actually be speeding things up overall. It may make our per stop a little longer, because...
Fuel scooping.
Like, after I scan, normally I would just lock on and start doing a surface scan of the star, and right now I'm having to wait till I get done with that. You know, so... I don't know if it's actually, like... faster per se in the moment, but I think overall it may save more time than sitting on top of a star for like 15 minutes or something stupid. Yeah, so we have 14 jumps left. Come on, clear it. Thought it was far enough away.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
And in case you were wondering, I usually try and get far enough my fuel scoop disengages, because the closer you are where your fuel scoop is engaged, the hotter your ship is. And typically, if I'm within fuel scooping range and then try and do a frame shift, it like starts heating up, and eventually it causes an issue. Or can. So I just like to get away from the star a little bit more before I do my jump, basically. But yeah, that's kind of cool. I'm thinking that might be working pretty well for us. Actually, we might go over this time.
Fuel scooping.
And technically speaking, I suppose I could get a little closer so it would scoop a little faster and then just basically bug out before I have a heat problem. That's another option. Oh, we've got a couple of things to scan here, maybe. Okay. While that's scanning, let's see if our system map can tell us if these are anything of note by the time this pulls up. Okay, so that's next. That one's next. Was it... Oh. Oh, no, okay. It is in this menu. Earth masses. These aren't saying they're... I hate it when it does that. They're not saying they're, surface types, probably because I haven't scanned them yet. Let's work our way backwards. Let's see if I can get this one next. Except this one's in front of us. Efficiency, man. It's all about efficiency. Sort of. Except for the fact that I'm doing the fastest routes instead of the economic ones. That's not about efficiency. Well, okay. No, let's be fair. It is about efficiency. It's about time efficiency. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait. What just happened? Oh, never mind. It was the 21. Yeah, it's about time efficiency over fuel efficiency. So, technically speaking, I'm still being efficient. I'm just not being efficient with my fuel. Okay. In some ways, it's kind of cool when you get places you can scan a bunch of different stuff, because you're like, oh, more data. But in some ways, I'm like, man, there's more things I have to scan. I wanted to just kind of jump and keep going. I've got so far to go. I really do. I've got so far.
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
Maybe at some point I'll hit a subscriber milestone while I'm still out here exploring. At the rate I'm going, it won't be much of a stretch. And maybe I'll do like a live stream or something so I can speed up how much progress I'm making.
Fuel scooping.
Let's see if we get a little bit closer. That does speed it up a little bit.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Okay, let's scan you. There's also a 6.8 and a 14. Come on. Well, this is gonna kind of mess up our milestone, too. As far as normally I don't have these places to scan. It's usually just the star that I grab, so this is slowing us down considerably too. So, I don't know. It also didn't help that I really didn't track and see what, at what point our, starting jump number was. I didn't pay attention to that at all. I mean, I could go back through with editing and find out what it was, but, meh. That would require work. Okay, so last one here. Alright, now, let's get to going.
Charging.
Let's have a peek at our galaxy map for a second, see how far we've gotten. Okay, so that was our last refuel point, and we're still trucking along, so we're probably over halfway by maybe a little bit of a stretch kind of thing. So, we'll see. Let's get a little bit closer this time to our orbit marker. Because see, before I was overheating, but the first time I tried this, I was actually trying to fill my whole tank up, and this is more of a top myself off so I don't have to be that close that long. There we go. So that's a little bit of a better alternative. We'll lock onto this, disengage, coast back up. Yeah, that's a pretty good system. I think we'll stick with that. Ah! I keep getting these ones that are actually close to me. Dagnabbit, you're slowing me down. You're holding me back. Okay. So we got this one over here. And this one over here. Come on. You don't have to take forever. Jeez, these scans really do take a while. Okay. Retarget. I do kind of wish I could have a jump target and a scan target so that I didn't have to, like, reset my target just because I wanted to scan something. That can get kind of irritating. I shouldn't say irritating, more just, time-consuming. It's just kind of one of those things like, do I really have to switch things?
4, 3, 2, 1, engage.
What are you gonna do? Okay, let's try this again.
Fuel scooping.
So I'm trying to keep my... Let's just say we'll keep our scoop at max and the crosshair, these little horizontal wavy bars. I don't know exactly what those are. We'll keep those kind of under the orbital line, and that should give us what we need. Okay. And there wasn't anything else in this one, I don't think. Alrighty.
Charging.
Now, actually, I wasn't really paying attention to my clock too much, but we're actually making really good time. Because we're gonna have...
4, 3.
Let's see, this is our 10th jump, so we're gonna have like 9 left or something, I think. And with 9 left, I'm looking at, if my counter's right, I'm looking at like 24 minutes or something, so we're actually doing pretty good on our time.
Fuel scooping.
So if I keep that right under there, I'm able to max, but I don't have to stay there very long. Oops, I didn't mean to.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
I hit that too early. Alright, come on. That is a really bright star, by the way. Now that I'm looking at it, like, up close and in my face. White, yellow. And I did actually plan out, I'll show you while I'm scanning that. I did actually plan out that this one, I'm hoping, I don't think it tells you what color they are, but on the map, this one looked kind of like a white. So I'm hoping that's like just a straight pure white star, because I don't know that I've ever seen one. I may have, and it just isn't as white as I'm expecting it to be, and it might be more of like a real light yellow. But I mean, like, that's a white yellow, and it's not quite as orangey as the normal ones, so I'm kind of hoping that it's actually more of like a straight pure white. That would look kind of cool. But I don't actually know that there's such a thing. Like, they categorize some things as a color, but it's not always a color. Dude, seriously. Scan already. Wow. That's like the longest scan I've ever seen. Goodness gracious me. Yeah, come on. I feel like if I was actually a pilot like this, and I was doing all these, exploration missions and stuff like that, I feel like I would be very close friends with a solitaire deck or something. Because it would just be like, what are you doing? Scanning a planet. How long you been scanning it? 15 minutes. You know, like... It's just one of those, like, man. And the other thing is, I think it would be cool if eventually they let you, I don't know, like, I know they upgraded the manual scanner where you're, like, using, well, no, I guess I did upgrade it because I had to add the detailed surface scanner and things, but I'm hoping eventually they add it to where, like, you can upgrade to one that's faster, because that would be kind of cool.
Fuel scooping.
I have a feeling this is a 2-star system. Mainly because there's a second star right around the corner. That's pretty cool.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Okay, so that's pretty much the only two that we have to scan to. Is these two. I do love stuff like this, though. When you've got like 2 stars right next to each other. That's so cool. I think the craziest one that I've seen so far, and I'm not sure if I actually put it in an episode or not, was there was 3. And, like, there was 2 like this, but then there was a 3rd one over that way, so it was like, looked like you had to weave your way through the stars. That was a really cool system. Come on, I'm on the clock here. I gotta see if I'm doing better or not. That's an orange yellow. Those look similar to me. Those look almost the same. So I'm not really sure how the color system works. Or rather, how viable and accurate it describes like what you're actually seeing versus what it might be considered on paper. You know, there's all those... And that happens a lot. Oops. Wrong button. That happens a lot where it's like, you know, you see it in shopping and stuff all the time where it's like, that's burgundy, no, that's maroon, no, that's mauve, that's, you know, like they have all these different names for very slight variations on colors, you know, teal and aqua, and you're like, it's the same thing, isn't it? They look the same, you know. So, I don't know how the color system works in this one, where it's like, are they actually orange and yellow, or is it just like they're considered orange and yellow, but they look like a different color? I don't know. We may never know. I have a feeling, though, I keep hitting the brakes and I don't mean to. I have a feeling, though, that, like the orange, yellow, and all that kind of stuff, I have a feeling that that's... The star is yellow, and the outer edge is orange. So, like, I could see this being a yellow-orange, because see how the outer edge is kind of an orange, but the center is more of a yellow? So, maybe it's something like that. We'll find out when this gets done scanning, I suppose. Yep, yellow-orange, see? I might be onto something. Until the next star proves me wrong. Available materials listed in the system map. Oh. Is that... Wait. Is that just like saying when they're metal rich and stuff like that? I wonder if that's actually like... You know how you need certain materials to make different things, like your frame shift drive injectors and things like that that you get from the SRV. I wonder if that's kind of what that is, or if it's just going to tell you it's high-end metal or something. I don't know. I kind of want to stop and look, but I kind of more so want to try this whole thing where we keep going and see what we get kind of thing. See if we can get to the end in a faster time than I normally do. I'm not sure though, because in one part I think I will, and then I still have... This is probably going to be an orange? Maybe? Or a yellow-orange. Just depends. Is there anything else in this system? No.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Let's see what we got. Yeah, I don't know. I think this might be an orange, but it could be a yellow-orange. I don't know. I just don't know. Yeah, see, we're gonna have 6 more jumps to do that I don't know if we're gonna make it. Yep, yellow-orange. Okay. So I don't know if we're gonna actually be able to get it all done in time or not. Though,
frameshift drive charging.
I suppose if we do get there at our, like, the end of the episode, it would basically say that the 2 fueling methods kind of come out in the wash then, I guess, assuming that I'm doing the second one here right, which who knows. I really think it's the stopping to scan things, though. If I was just like jump, 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 and I'm trying to just top my engine or top my fuel tank off on the way, I feel like this method would be a lot faster than trying to make sure I have one that I can scoop from and make sure I don't pass it and stuff like that.
Fuel scooping.
In that regard, I could totally see that as some kind of improvement, but
fuel scooping complete.
The added scanning time,
fuel
though,
disengaged.
It does kind of take a minute. So, I don't know. Okay, nothing else in here. We have 5 more jumps. Well, as long as I don't run into anything with a ton of planets I need to scan, we'll probably be fine. I might be a little early. Though, once again, to be fair, this is also the first time that I didn't do like a full limit 900 something
charging
route either. So, you know, who knows how far I've actually, or if I would have actually gotten to the same point or not at the same time, because I typically don't do 600 markers. I usually do 900 markers and don't get there. So, I don't know. I'm kind of thinking just because I'm lazy and I like being able to just kind of get to a certain point and stop and float there. I'm kind of thinking that I might prefer the other method, but I don't know. I mean, it's not really like this has been very difficult to do. So,
fuel scoop disengaged.
I don't really know. Let me know what you guys think. Maybe you don't like seeing me sit and just stare at a star. Which, by the way, that was quite a tongue-twisting sentence. But, you know, maybe you prefer going fueling on the go. Yellow-orange again. I'm starting to wonder if there's any single-tone stars or if they're always a combination of something.
Frameshift drive charging.
Like, is there just a red? Or is there just an orange? Now, I wonder, I've seen those dwarf stars that are like a real deep purpley red and they're kind of like small. Like their orbit lines are way far away from them.
3, 2,
I wonder if those are considered a red. I don't rightly know. Oh, speaking of red,
Fuel scooping.
this one looks a bit redder.
Fuel scooping complete. Fuel scoop disengaged.
I mean, again, I don't know if they're gonna do purely single tones or if there's gonna be a two-tone element to it, but it looks much, much redder. 3 jumps left, we're getting closer. Red dwarf star, okay, so you can have single colors. There doesn't always have to be a two-tone. Apparently yellow-orange is just the most common, though, because we've seen a ton of those just in this episode out alone the whole time we've played this game. I mean, there's been a ton of those red ones. We're actually not doing too bad, though. If we get to the end point, I'm debating. If we get to the end point and we're under like 40 minutes, I might just pick another thing and then check back on where we last left off and see how far we get at the end of the episode kind of thing. And we might try that route.
Fuel scooping. Fuel scooping complete.
Okay. I think this was all there was.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Yeah. Well, that's all there is. I'm gonna scan. I probably should clarify. Some people might be like, "No, there's way more in this system." I'm not going after it. I'm not going 2,000 light seconds over there to scan that thing. Nope. I've got places to be, and at the rate I'm going, I'm not gonna get there until I'm 90. So, you know. Now, see, that's considered a red dwarf. I'm beginning to think the colors don't even matter. They're just making up colors. Because that doesn't look red to me at all. Maybe a red-orange or a red-yellow, but that doesn't look like just a red star. That last one we saw did. That was more of just a straight red. But that didn't look like a red star. So, yeah, I'm beginning to wonder if they're just randomizing sprites to make them, or textures, and then just, you know, slapping a name on there. Red dwarf star. It's not a red star. Actually, it didn't even look like a dwarf star, though. I'll admit I don't really know what the criteria is. I always thought that was the smaller ones, but, you know. Not an astronomer. What do I know? Why is... Really? I've done that like 4 times now.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Whee! Now see, this one I could see being red. Don't! Oh man, there's a lot in here that I might be able to scan. Ugh. Well, we've got time, I suppose. We're running good on time. Yeah, see, that red, I get. The other one's not so much. Or the other one, rather, that last one. Okay, you're too far. Isn't that the same thing I was just locked onto? Okay, all these are too far. Man, I really thought that once I got into the 20s and 30s that those would work. Apparently not. Seriously? 23 won't even scan? Alright, well, whatever. I got places to be. And that was one of those, I've had a couple people that were like, you know, you should really be scanning everything in the systems and stuff. And it's, if I was just exploring and I didn't have a goal, or rather, I didn't want to wait to get there till I was like, you know, episode 943 or something, you know, then I would probably scan all sorts of stuff because I'm just out there to scan and find things. But I'm kind of like, exploring is the side arc of getting to the main center. Ooh. Yeah, see, that does look like kind of a... I mean, I think that's as white as a star is gonna get.
Fuel scooping.
You know what I mean? Like, there is still all that, like, heat, magma, solar stuff.
Fuel scooping.
And by the way, totally the scientific term. Heat, magma, solar stuff. Yep, look it up.
Fuel scoop disengaged.
Let's see what they clock this as. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a... I killed the throttle. I did. I killed the throttle. I don't know why my ship is not slowing down. I cut the throttle before I even started turning. That was scary. That moment when you're slowly turning and as you turn you are looking straight at a star and it's getting bigger. Not good. Alright, what is this? That was funny, the pilot's like tapping his hand on the throttle. It was like, come on, let's go. White! Alright, so we did find a white star. I was right. But like I said, see how it's still got a little bit of a yellow? So I wasn't sure if it was going to be like a straight pure white or if it was going to be more of like a really bright yellow, but that makes sense to me. So I think we're going to wrap things up here for this episode. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. In the meantime, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like, and I'll see you all next time. Peace.